Okay. Can somebody see that? Is that camera angle good? Look good to hear? Yeah, to hear? Okay, cool. Huh? Okay, cool. I will probably not edit that out. Yeah, it's like I just need to make sure, Okay, so one, your boy has not preached consistently since June. Wow, it's been a long time. So as usual, Jesus gave me a whole sermon series through Instagram. I know, most Christians are like, I have to step away from social media so the Lord can speak to me. Jesus be like, I'm gonna just meet you where you are, dog, all right? Like, thank you, Jesus, because I was definitely looking at Instagram stories when this sermon series popped up. We were supposed to start the tabernacle today, but we're not, because Jesus met me on Instagram. I love that. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I probably look like everywhere. Okay, so this series, let's talk about 2020. Over the next 3 weeks, we're gonna end the year looking at 2020, looking at God in 2020, looking at ourselves in 2020, and then looking forward to 2021. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So, end of 2019, everybody was like, 2020, let's go. 2020 vision, oh yeah. Roaring 20s coming back. I'm gonna wear a suit everywhere. Like, no, you're not. You're not gonna do that. Jeans are too comfortable. You're not, huh? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You wear your pajamas everywhere. We're gonna get there. So, 2020, everybody was super pumped. Let's go. Had the glasses, 2-0, 2020, Everybody was ready. It was going to be the best year ever for the best decade ever of our lives. We were like, let's do it. And then Kobe died. Anybody else remember where they were when they found out? I was at Coffee Bistro talking to Vic's mom. I was like, what? Kobe? Jesus, no, this is fake. Please, not Kobe Bryant, please. It was the first time that a celebrity death hit me hard. I was like, what is going on inside of me, Jesus? I did not realize Kobe had affected me so much, Anyway, 2020 took a sharp left turn. Everybody remembers January, like I said, Kobe. We see COVID, coronavirus. We're like, it's a Chinese thing. It's not coming to America. We're fine, Most people are still there. We're fine. But the year just kept getting worse. So for all the people who once, y'all remember Harambe, the gorilla? There's a lot of people who are like, yo, 2020 was gonna make up for Harambe finally. We've had all these cursed years. I was not one of those. But 2020 got here, and as it got worse and worse, even me, I was like, this is a rough year. This has been a really rough year. And for a lot of people, it still is a really rough year. So I was sitting on Instagram. Jenny was giving the kids a bath, and I saw on this story.
I second that. Yeah.
Wow.
You do the bath next time, and I'll sit on Instagram.
I have no problem doing that. I was. Jesus, I was sermon prepping during bath time.
That's what you should have said. Jenny's giving kids a bath, I was sermon prepping.
Here's the thing. At this podium, it's got to be the truth. It may be crazy, but it's going to be the truth, okay? Jesus not going to come get me later, No thanks. So yeah, it's bath time. And I was on Instagram watching stories, and one said, what are you most looking forward to for 2021? And I said, oh my gosh, that is the issue. Most people at the end of this year are looking to escape 2020 versus looking to be prepared for 2021 if things don't change. I said, so people have no hope because they're just looking to escape something. And as we all know, it's time. There's nothing you can do about it except use it well. That is it. That's all we have. And so where most people are not looking to prepare for 2021 if things don't change, even us as Christians, we all got sucked into not looking at God at some point through this year. All of us at some point are guilty of not looking at God through this year. And this has been a crazy year. All of us have been ready to get back to normal, whatever that looks like. We've been ready to be done with the rules, be done with the pandemic, be done with death, all the things. And it hit me. What if God did all this on purpose? What if all of this legitimately was something that he said, I just want to see how my people respond? Well, Rafer, would God actually do that to us? Would he actually force us into what we would all call the worst year ever? Would he do that? Would he allow it? Have you heard of Job? So I go, if he would allow it, the question becomes why? Why would God allow the entire world to be shocked into something that they were not prepared for, that they didn't see coming? Why? Thankfully, we got tons of examples of things happening. I want to make sure I stay with my notes because your boy can just go off and I'm like, well, that's the end of the sermon. Okay. So tons of things that have happened already in the Bible that answers all of these questions to show that God is always there, to show that he's always been there, and further, that he wants to be there with us in the suck. So let's jump into it. Exodus 13, verses 17 through 18. It says, when Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them by way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For God said, lest the people change their minds when they see war and return to Egypt. But God led the people around by way of the wilderness toward the Red Sea. And the people of Israel went out of the land of Egypt equipped for battle. Then chapter 14, verse 10, it says, when Pharaoh drew near, the people of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians were marching after them, and they feared greatly. And the people of Israel cried out to the Lord. They said, Moses, is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you have taken us away to die in the wilderness? What have you done to us, bringing us out of Egypt? Is not this what we said to you in Egypt? Leave us alone that we may serve the Egyptians. For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness. And Moses said to the people, fear not, stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will work for you today. For the Egyptians whom you see today, you shall never see again. The Lord will fight for you, and you only have to be silent. The Lord said to Moses, why do you cry to me? Tell the people of Israel to go forward. Lift up your staff, stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it, that the people of Israel may go through the sea on dry ground. I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians so that they shall go in after them, and I will get glory over Pharaoh and all his host, his chariots, and his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord when I have gotten glory over Pharaoh, his chariots, and his horsemen. Then the angel of God, who was going before the host of Israel, moved and went behind them, and the pillar of cloud moved from before them and stood behind them, coming between the host of Egypt and the host of Israel. And there was the cloud and the darkness, and it lit up the night without anyone coming near the other all night. So let's unpack this. I'm pumped. Oh, gosh, I'm pumped. Okay. Again, I haven't preached consistently, so like I got to get my wind back up. I finally understand when basketball players are like, I got to get my legs back. I'm like, what? You're a basketball player. I got to get my legs back. All right, here we go. So God did not take them the easy way. I need to say that multiple times. God did not take the Israelites the easy way. Every Christian here at some point in our relationship with Jesus says to him, why is this so hard? Why does it have to be like this? Why do I have to sacrifice this? Why, Jesus? Why? It said God did not take them the easy way. The craziest part about the easy way was they were still going to encounter war if they went the easy way. There was going to be legitimate bloodshed if they went the easy way. Please hear me. The easy way does not mean that there is going to be no speed bumps or blocks in the way. He took them the long way to the Red Sea, and we're going to get into that. Crazy part about him saying, I don't want them to see the Philistines and see that they have to fight and freak out and go back to Egypt. He says, I don't want them to see war, freak out, and turn around. What is crazy about that? They were dressed for battle. The Israelites left Egypt dressed to fight. What does that look like for us? 2020, end of 2019, jumping into 2020. We were ready. Where the Israelites thought, okay, cool, we're going to conquer this land. Okay, so maybe we'll have to fight. We'll have to do some things here and there. Cool. They were prepared to fight a battle. Even though God said, I know y'all think y'all prepared to fight a battle, but y'all have not even been a nation by yourselves yet. You're going to freak out when it gets real in the streets. You are going to run when it actually gets real, for real, for real. So we were ready for the things that we thought would come in 2020. The easy route. I'm going to give me a new planner. I'm going to call Margarita. I'm going to jump into a boot camp. Let's go. I'm going to do the things. We were ready for the battles that we knew we were going to see coming for the beginning of 2020. So when all of that is shaken up, we go into freak out mode. We're going to go into that. That's why I got notes. But we were ready. Jenny and I had a new baby coming on the 9th of January. So we're like, okay, we are ready. Mentally, we are ready for 2 kids. And then we realized we were not ready for 2 kids. And I'm still like, I'm not ready for 2 kids. What is happening? But they were dressed for battle. They were ready for what they thought they were going to encounter. Because at the worst, I know I can just take a guy with my shield and my sword and it'll be fine and we'll keep going. God is going to give us the land anyway. So I'm going to write my goal list. I'm going to get my planner. I'm going to do all the things to prepare my life for what 2020 is going to bring me. I'm going to be ready. God saw that what we were dressed for, and he took all of us down a path that we were not ready for, and a path that we would have given back to him if he had given us the option. If God had given us the option of this 2020 year, I don't think anybody in here would have been like, yeah, I'll stay in my house for a month and a half with my kids all the time. Yes, let's do it. Some people would, I would not. I don't like all the time, Jesus, like the whole day. And we go outside together, but we got to go together. No, he took all of us down a path that we would have handed back. We were ready to fight for the things that we were expecting. We were ready to fight for things that we were expecting. Here's the thing with God. We have been praying for so many things, and God said, I'm going to give you all of them. But like Robert Madu said last week, it's not going to come packaged how you want it. He said, God is a great gift giver. God is really bad at wrapping presents. He said he is really great at giving the gift of patience, but it is going to be wrapped in your 2 children during COVID. Jesus, I want to grow. So when God is looking at what we were prepared for, he said, oh, I'm about to answer all your prayers. You can't get a break from work? Work from home. Oh, you want to be better at cleaning up? Stay at home and clean up. Oh, you want to spend more time with your friends and have real relationships? Okay, be intentional about the relationships that you have. You got nothing but time now. He shook all of that up. What we tend to forget is God is always looking for us, or looking for good relationship with us. Yeah. He is always looking for good relationship first and foremost. We throw that out the window and we just go, oh, because I have a good relationship, then I'm just going to get all the things on the easy path to the promised land. So God has to do drastic things like take the Israelites to the Red Sea to show how much they can depend on him for real, for real. So on purpose, he took them to the Red Sea. We always talk about the Red Sea as like, what is the big problem in your life that God is going to split in half and you're going to walk through it on dry land? Well, yeah, what is it? And we skip over the part that you are going to have to go there on purpose. We look at God as he's just going to split the sea. You got to walk to the sea. He took them there on purpose. He knew what was coming. He knew that the Egyptians were going to chase after them. He knew they could not walk on water. God knew all of this. And what God wanted to show those Israelites, like he wants to show us every day, he wanted the Israelites to know him like Moses knew him. He wanted the Israelites to trust him like Moses trusted him. He wanted the Israelites to legitimately see and understand how powerful this God that they have been chosen by, how powerful he really is, so that no matter what comes their way, they will never, ever be shaken. Yeah. Marissa said 3 weeks ago, things around you are going to shake. You are going to shake, but you do not have to be shaken. Things are going to shake, so you are going to come to the Red Sea with the Egyptians behind you. Things are going to look like, what the heck is going on? But I do not have to be shaken. Moses was not shaken. We're going to get to the Israelites in a bit, but Moses was not shaken. Not one bit. But that's because he knew God. And God said, I want to do the same with this entire group of people. 2 million people, Margarita? 1.2, something like that, 2 million? All right, give or take. 2 million people. He said, I want all of you to trust me like Moses does. So it was never about the Red Sea itself. It was never about Kobe Bryant's death for Rafer. It was never about COVID. It was never about the pandemic. It was never about how bad 2020 has been. God said, I want to show you through all of this, and I am here in it with you. And if you just take the time to get to know me for real, we can actually do this together. So let's go back to chapter 14, verse 10. It says, when Pharaoh drew near, the people of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians were marching after them, and they feared greatly. They feared greatly. They said to Moses, is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you have taken us away to die in the wilderness? What have you done to us in bringing us out of Egypt? Is not this what we said to you in Egypt? Leave us alone that we may serve the Egyptians. For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness. The people started freaking out. The people started freaking the F out. Let's just be real. Like, they're like, We can just go back and serve them and die. Who chooses that? Who chooses that? We told you, Moses, why are you bringing us out here? We already said we didn't even want to go. Then anyway, why did you bring us out here to die? Guys, you're dressed for battle. Remember that part? Anyway, why did you bring us out here? It would have been so much better if my life had just gone the way it was going. We all know and understand, don't start anything legitimately on January 1st, because by February 3rd, you're going to turn around and go back to Egypt. You think you're going to take the easy way. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And March hit and we all freaked out. What is happening? Jesus, Democrats, Republicans, everybody was freaking out, calling any and every. What? The government killed Kobe, and now they're giving us this virus. What? Calm down. So many random things that were going on. So where the Israelites are looking behind them and going, the Egyptians are coming and there's water in front of us. We can't walk on water. We, like them, it was different. It was loneliness. It was the fact that I couldn't hug anybody. It was the fact that for whatever reason, there's no toilet paper and all the shelves are empty at the grocery store. How am I going to feed my kids? People are legitimately the worst. And we are sitting there going, Jesus, if they just stayed how they were, if everything was just going to be back to normal, if everything was normal, I wouldn't be dealing with this. And we say I wouldn't be dealing with this like nobody else was. Jesus, if only. So we're standing there having to legitimately meet ourselves in the mirror and on the couch and in the kitchen and on the patio. Because now I got to actually deal with the things that I plan to not deal with because I can do all the things. So I really only started freaking out because my outlets to get away from myself were taken away from me. So I'm freaking out going, Jesus, I'm ready to be done with this. I'm ready to be done. Because what I see chasing me is who I am. And what's in front of me is something that this just looks like it's going to go forever. I'm good. No. And so we're sitting here, March, April, May. Y'all remember June when everything opened up? Everybody, I'm going to Legal's and Chipotle, and I'm going to church just to hug people, and what else we doing? We were like, the waters have opened up. The waters are split. Let's go. And God was like, no, that wasn't even it. The waters aren't even split yet. But here we were. It was so much uncertainty. It was social issues. It was political issues. And all of us at some point got tired of it. All of us. Everybody. I'm not wearing a mask. Who cares? Whatever. I'm going to wear a mask. Who cares? Everybody had their way of dealing and saying and doing. All of us were done. Check what Moses said to them. He said, fear not, stand firm, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will work for you today. For the Egyptians whom you see today, you shall never see again. The Lord will fight for you, and you have only to be silent. God brought us to this year to show us who he was. Yeah. Naturally, because we're human beings, we start with ourselves. Eventually, we get there. And then we finally turn back to God. But check what Moses says to the people. They are freaking out. And again, Moses knew God. Moses saw the burning bush. He freaked out when he saw it, but he now trusts that burning bush God. And so Moses tells them, fear not. See what God is going to do for you today. Jenny talked about it. Relationships, your friendships, and perspective. Who was your Moses this year? Who was the Moses that said, hey, turn back to Jesus? Hey, I know it sucks. Better yet, we should have been the Moses for the people around us. Fear not. Stand there and see what God does, because I know who he is. I know who he is. I know what he's capable of. So I have no reason to fear. You have no reason to fear. God has been through this with us the whole time. Further, God knew this was coming. So if I trust the God that knows all and sees all, those kids in there have no idea of danger. They don't even think about it. They are in there. My son is probably a dinosaur right now. And that's because he knows and understands who I am as a parent. He knows that his dad is going to take care of him at all costs. Moses said, fear not, stand firm. And I love that. Who are the people that are the Moses in your life? And further, can you be the Moses for those around you? I know who God is. I know what he's capable of. And I know that he is not going to leave us standing here at the water and with the Egyptians chasing us. I know that. It looks really bad right now because they are moving very quickly. And again, I cannot walk on water. This loneliness does not look like it's going to go anywhere. I still cannot go sit down and eat and talk in the coffee shop for 4 hours. I still cannot get away from myself. I still cannot. But do you trust the God that can meet you in the middle of it? Can you just stand firm and fear not? Here's what I love. God said, tell the people to go forward. Stretch out your hands, divide the water, and walk through on dry land. Go forward. Can you imagine being there and word is coming to you? You're in the middle of the pack. And somebody turns around and they're like, Moses said, we're going to walk through the sea. We're going to walk through it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He said we're going to, we're going to do it. Let's go. Yes. You are freaking out. Tell the people to go forward. But Rafer, we can't meet at church. But Rafer, how are we supposed to collect tithes? But Rafer, how are we supposed to be there for the people if they can't meet at the church? But Rafer, how are we supposed to do communion if everybody's buying all the cookie snacks? Rafer, well, how are we supposed to do communion if the people can't touch the bread? God said, go forward. He gave us, at the beginning of the year, gave us a series on humility and servanthood that ended with us driving around the city on Easter. And guess what? We couldn't even have an Easter service. God said, go forward. Go forward. Go forward. How many of us sat in this year? All of us did at some point. I can't go forward. There's water in front of me. I can't go forward. There's nowhere to walk. I can't go forward. And God said, go forward. Keep moving. Keep going. Go forward. Go forward. Stretch out your hand and divide the water. This is crazy. Moses splits the water. The cloud and the angel of the Lord that were leading them moved from in front of them to behind them. This is where we really freak out because we were happy following God down the path. Oh yeah, me and Jesus, we talk all the time. Yeah, we're great. You know, life is good. Kobe died. I know I keep saying that. It hit me hard, guys. It was like, Jesus, what is happening? What is that? Chadwick Boseman too? No, you know, freaking out. So where we have been walking with God, at some point, the cloud and the angel had to move behind them so that they could actually move forward. So that the Egyptians had to stand still. I imagine like a video game where like the character is like stuck at the wall and it's just like jumping, like Jim when he's playing Call of Duty. Anybody? You know, yeah. And he's just like stuck and he's like, and they're just laughing, you know. That was the Egyptians. The cloud is right there and they're just like in their horses, like riding, you know, chariot wheels are spinning. And they're like, why are we not going anywhere? But the cloud and the angel moved from in front of the people of Israel to behind them. So here's the crazy thing. All of the things that I was actually going to do in 2020, God stopped those things, right? Because all of those things were going to keep me in the place that I was in. I would have thought that I was doing better, that I was improving. My life is changing. But God said the things that are actually trying to chase you down through the things that you think are new, the things that you think are going to change your life, all those things are trying to overtake you. You think the loneliness was bad, but guess what? Being fake was going to chase you down so much. You wouldn't have been able to break out of it this year. Authenticity was not going to come your way because you were going to be stuck doing what you were doing. So where me needing to be real, me needing to actually heal those lifelong wounds, God said, let me actually get behind you and keep those things from getting you for real, for real. Let's actually meet me here. Let's process this stuff. Let's heal this stuff. Let's actually get better on the other side of this water. The cloud and the angel moved behind the people. God did this on purpose. All of 2020, no matter how bad or how good or how great, whatever it is, God brought us here on purpose. And if I look back on this year and I don't see what God has taken me through, this was a wasted year for my relationship with Jesus. This was a legitimate wasted year if I look back and I cannot see the angel of the Lord go before me, regardless of what the Red Sea looks like, how dire it has been. If I cannot look back and go, man, God actually changed my life this year. We have to remember that God did it on purpose and forever. All of it is going to be allowed. I was going to go to Job, and then I didn't. And now we're going to go to Job. A little bit. Not too long, I promise. But what sticks out the most to me about Job is Satan went to God twice. Satan went to God twice. And God both times said, yes, do what you want. Do not take his soul. Don't take his life. Don't touch his life. Satan went to God twice. 2 times. I need you to know and understand that. We always talk, oh yeah, Satan went to twice. He approached God twice. And both times God said, yes. Yes, do it. We as Christians like to hold on to the thing of the devil is doing the things. He only does what God allows him to do. Even Satan himself has to bow at the name of Jesus. But Raver, he's so powerful. He's not powerful, more powerful than God at all. And again, he only does what God allows him to do. Literally. So when we look at this year, whether God allowed Satan to have a hand or in this or that or not, God allowed this year to take place. And if I look back on this year and I'm just throwing it out the window, I'm trying to escape the year, look at how many things God actually saved me from. When we met with Paul, he said, how many people go to the church? How many people are you expecting every week? And I told him, well, before COVID, we were about 75, 80 people a week. I said, and then through COVID, it dropped down to about 35, 40 people. And then we grew through the summer. Churches don't grow in a pandemic, in person. Transformation Church? Heck yeah. Mike Todd is an internet pastor. He killing it. Everybody's like, that's my pastor. I love you, Pastor Mike. Everybody. Instagram, Facebook, doing it up. But you don't grow in person during a pandemic. Half of the people who were here before COVID hit are still not here. So we need like double what we have right now today. Chairs, tables, the whole nine. Our tithes. I know a ton of pastors who, how are you doing your online giving? What are you all freaking out? And I said, here's the thing. God did this on purpose. So I am not going to freak out because I know that he brought us here. Our giving has not changed. And we moved into this building. If we were sitting on a spot where we could not go forward, if we were not legitimately trusting God that regardless of what it looked like, we wouldn't have text in church where we can send text messages to everybody. Y'all remember when we bought everybody pizza? Everybody got pizza delivered to their house. I had tons of conversations with pastors that was like, man, we had to go back to so many basics. And what I loved most was we didn't have to change anything. We were still talking. We were still in the lives. We were still checking in, dropping groceries off, doing this, doing that. Because when it happened, we knew that God brought us here. And if I know that God brought me here, guess what? I know that he's going to be on the other side of it. And so in these last 3 weeks, regardless of how you looked at 2020, you got 3 weeks to legitimately get with God and see what he has done and how he's kept us. And we'll talk about getting into 2021 and what all that's going to look like. But that is the message today. God did and does on purpose. This is not a wasted year. This is not a trash year. This is not. God did it on purpose. And if you have an issue with that, you need to talk to him about it right now. Because he knew this was coming and he knew that he would keep us. So let's go into the holy place, spend some time with Jesus, and we're going to call it a day.